Hello, Gary Moore, President of Local Broadcast Sales, and we're titling this video Motivational Monday. Now, you can be watching this any day of the week, and we'll see why time is a critical element. So whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday that you're watching this, we want this to be part of just a motivation for you when it comes to selling broadcast. And you know what's really exciting is that when it comes to motivation, I can't motivate you. Now, you can listen to what I have to say, you can think about it, you can even implement it, but you'll be motivated when I convince you that it's worth it for you to be motivated, that what I'm talking about can help you. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll see if I can't reason with you instead of to excitably get you motivated, okay? All right, so I want to imagine you're sitting in front of your doctor right now, and your doctor looks at you and says, you know, I'm hustling to make ends meet. I'm really busy and I just don't have enough time to continue to learn. He goes, so I don't read any of those medical journals, anything else that comes out. I just, I've been told that I'm a natural doctor. And since I'm a natural doctor, I just kind of do what I think is right. And you know what? I seem to do okay most of the time. So anyway, let's talk about your operation and what we're going to be doing now. And of course, you'd look at that doctor and you'd say, where is the closest door? This is not a professional doctor if he is not learning all the time. So now let's put that as a broadcast seller. Let's say you're talking to a retailer and they start asking you, how have you prepared yourself to be taking my money and to invest it in advertising, whether it's on broadcast, digital, or any other way? Why should I trust you? Why are you a professional to do that? Now, that's a very fair question, and rarely do we get that thrown back at us, but we should be ready for it. And that's what we're going to be talking about now is what do we do during the day to be better? What are we doing to learn? Now, one of the things I hope you're doing from time to time when you're in the car is you have on local radio stations, maybe your competitor, and you're actually listening to see who's advertising. What are they advertising? How do they sound? What kind of brand are they trying to build? And picking up information about your clients who are using other radio stations, or come and think about the fact that they are using them and they're not using me if it happens to be a good prospect for you. So whether you're selling radio or TV, it's a good way to spend your time going from account to account and know what's going on. If we aren't careful, we get lazy. And what we do is kind of get like that doctor we talked about. We don't really have time to be learning, but we sure have time to listen to our favorite songs, maybe even put some kind of music on that doesn't even have commercials, which has nothing to do with preparing us as professionals. So you're telling me I don't have time. I'm telling you, you have lots of time on where you can actually becoming more professional. Successful broadcasters everywhere listen to local broadcast sales and allow you to maximize your time, making you become a maximizer so that when it comes to time management, professional growth, you're a real pro. How do they do that? By going to localbroadcastsales.com when you're in the car, call it up on your phone and actually use it and listen to one of the great instructors that are available on local broadcast sales. You have over 1,000 videos to choose from. You have, frankly, over 60 instructors, so pick one of your favorites. Okay, I know it's me, but we have others who are great. And you can become an expert as you're going from account to account. Let's say it's 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to get to that account. You can be listening and picking up sales tips or other ideas and getting your mind thinking as a professional sales pro instead of letting it wander during this time. That is valuable time. I can't give you another hour in your day, but you can give yourself another hour of learning just as you go from account to account. Do you realize that if you're average, you spend roughly 23% of your time in front of clients, meaning that 23% of your time you're doing what we're really supposed to be doing in selling, but then we have all this other time. And so why not be learning about our profession, be learning every day? Listen, I don't know what your goals were. Mine were, you've probably heard me say it before. Mine were, my wife and I had 11 children. She was allowed to be at home the entire time raising our kids, homeschooling them while I worked. And the media business, selling advertising, allowed me to buy a home in Southern California. If you know anything about Southern California real estate, that is an accomplishment. And we have a big house where we raised 11 kids, and we were able to, because what was important to us was to have a large family and for her to be able to homeschool our kids. And thanks to media sales, we were able to do it. You can do the same thing, whatever your goals are. So establish your goals and then make it a point that you are going to be learning. Time is money. You've heard that old saying, you can never have enough of it. Well, LBS is designed by media sellers, presented by media sellers for you to help you hear and listen to some different ways to approach those customers. Learn to listen by listening to LBS so that you become more attuned and you're filling your mind with professional sales thinking. And I'm talking about 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, when you're driving from one account to another, or you're driving to work. I drove 45 minutes. I live north of San Diego. I drove 45 minutes to work, 45 minutes back if there wasn't traffic. And so that was a lot of time that I was able to use to learn. And I'm highly suggesting you really think about, I'm going to start learning. I'm going to make this my best friend, and I'm going to get localbroadcastsales.com on here, and I'm going to start really learning to be better at my profession. Now, sometimes when I'm learning, by the way, I listen to even some of the structures we have, and I go, well, I wouldn't do it this way, but I do it this way. And what I'm doing is I'm learning how to actually think. Because as you've heard before, selling is a thinking game and you want to be the best at it. You know, we want to make sure that even when we're spending time jogging, exercising, working in the garden, whatever you're doing, you can take local broadcast sales with you. There are hours and hours and hours and days. You can go for about 4 months worth of time listening to local broadcast sales and listening to other professionals talking about what you do. And then you won't be like that doctor just going, I don't have time to become more of a professional. You do. You're asking for my money, your clients' money. You have time to become more of a professional. If we don't use our time to become more professional, what are we doing with that time? Are we pandering to our own desires and going, I want to hear this music or that, going from one account to another, instead of learning? I mean, stop and think about that. If it was your money, wouldn't you want your sales professional to be learning more and more? Because guess what? Your manager had it easy compared to you in what he or she needed to know when they were selling. It's far more complicated today, far, far more complicated. And so we need partners like Local Broadcast Sales. It's why we made it, so that it's available to you to give you some things to think about so that you can, yes, improve. And I don't care if you've been around like me and you've been around for 20, 30 years in media selling, or if you're brand new, you can always be learning more. There's also a saying, it takes 10,000 hours to become a master. Become a master at what you do. Learn to master your time going and coming from place to place during what I call the dead time that you have in each and every day that you have. And by the way, if you drew a chart and put 23% of the time you're in front of people, your customers, and then you put how much time do I spend in learning, I wonder what that little sliver looks like. How about let's shoot for making it larger and be challenging us. If we aren't giving you good enough stuff on Local Broadcast Sales, if we're missing a point, let me know. I'll get it handled, because we are here dedicated to you and your profession so that you can be confident when you go on in sales. Have a great week, and thanks for listening.